So welcome Infin8 Capital community, Jason and Suman here. This week we have an amazing special guest, Kazi here. He's a core member, original member of our Infin8 Capital community, here to share his story and some insights. So thank you so much, Kazi, for your time today. Looking forward to talking to you and hearing some amazing insights for our audience.
Amazing. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Shimon. And it's my pleasure to be here. And
And I think, Kazi, the first thing, people, those who don't know you, can you please talk a little bit about yourself, what you do and, how things are going for you?
Of course, of course. Yes, coming from engineering background, and I have been in that space almost 3 decades in the engineering space. Started with the consulting engineering, moved on with the different employers. So I managed multi-million-dollar construction projects, the different complexities, multi-year long. Then I moved on to managing the projects over the past decade and a half. And 5 years ago, that real estate investment bug got into my head, and I actually jumped into it, not studying it. Studying happened actually before that, about 10 years before that. Only when you take an action, only that's where my clock started, not when I start dreaming. Yes, I need a lot of confidence. I have to work on it. I have to read about it. I have to be listening to all the coaching side of it from other experts. So only then I felt confident to be in that role 5 years ago as a real estate investor. And then since last year, I've become a 10X certified business coach from Grant Cardone's team. So that's kind of my span over the past 3 decades, what I've been doing.
Amazing. And the 10x, when you said, right, so why you feel like people have to go 10x in their life, if that is something, because I see in your t-shirt, it's well written 10x life. So what is meant by 10x life, and what are some of the tips you can share with the audience, which will help them 10x their life?
Yes. So I did not know Grant a few years back. It was just about a year and a half ago, I came across all his marketing emails and whatnot. And then one thing that motivated me, that he said, hey, if you want to be a business coach, this is a great opportunity. And I thought that perhaps business coach, I always want to be a consultant, my own firm. I said, business coach, I am in the real estate investment world already. I want to scale my portfolio, the growth and the scale. That's where he's master. He's the guru in that area, world-class guru. So I said, this is the perfect place. And initially, I thought that would be my own personal development. So I soaked into it. I went through lightning speed in 3 months, finished all that courses that I had to go through. Finally, I got the certificate. And of course, since then, I have few clients that I've been engaged with, the business client, and also the weekly mentoring calls and accountability coachings and the leadership. It's really put me in a different person now than even a year ago, even though I'm doing a lot of engineering, project management, real estate side, but that 10x, the mindset, amazing. The rule is that 10x that I always engaging almost every day. Every day I'm getting up, I said, I got to perform this. So the rule is that the 10x level of effort you put, okay, you set the target first, like a 10x, ambitious goal on that. And I'm going to work hard, really consistently, 10x level. And the result would be 10x level. Now, you can apply that in your income. Like if you think that income is your goal, you can apply to your family life. If you want to apply to your sports, to your music, to whatever you want to do, you just have to make sure that you're going to set the very high bar, work towards it, because and then the result would come. Because you know that in a real life situation, there is a lot of setback going to happen. A lot of things not going to go in a straight line. There's a lot of risk involved. So at the end of the day, when you have the highest level of the goals here, regardless of all that things happen, sure, you may not be reaching out to that level, but if your initial goal was that, okay, I just want to make $100,000, if that was income generated, you're not going to reach 100,000. You're going to fall short of like a 50, 60 grand because look what happened in the economic market right now. There is a risk, there is an interest rate, there is all kind of things that happen. So that is actually the main thing that it motivates me to keep going. And that led me to believe that if I can discipline myself and fully commit it to an everyday basis, I go to Cardinal University to learn every day. That is my ritual right now, just listening to it, get motivated. It's a 10x super life, which means that you can now apply that to your real estate, your engineering, project management, wherever you want to apply, so that you want to get to the highest and the quality driven.
And I think the beauty why we connect so well with you is, Jason always talks about designing your life using the power of real estate and wealth, right? And I think the same principle and vision, we have with you and, naturally Grant Cardone is the 10x life, where basically revolving, how can we revolve things around the life? Because, at the end, we talk about at Infinite too, first design your why and then you do real estate, because real estate is not just buying a bunch of property and then not showing. You have to tie those things to your why, or what are you, as you rightly mentioned, to your 10x goals, right? So without that there is no purpose of just buying assets. And what was your biggest takeaway about, as we are talking about life, what was your biggest takeaway for life? Like what is the number one tip that you would like to share for 10x super life? Just one tip.
10x super life to me means that I'd like to have more freedom for my time. Okay. So that I can invest the time for the passion that what I have, which is a number of passions I have. I'm a musician as well, and I like to play any sports. I like to travel. But to get there, you have to work hard and consistently build that up to the passive income level that you can, whether asset-based, in that case, that the asset in my case is real estate. I've already started before I knew about the business coaching side or 10x. And then what I have created over the past 5 years, of course, my wife was always been with me on this one here on the journey. She has been putting a lot of effort. She's not here right now on the podcast, but there's always your other half is contributing big time behind the scene, but it keeps us propelling that. And of course, the generational wealth, because I have two sons. They're, I see them, I say, their future, what's going to happen for their, right? So we're doing something generational wealth so that they can also look into some better future for themselves and their future generations. So if you were to ask me, what is our why? I'm not sure if this is the you're going to be asking pretty soon.
No, please go ahead. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Our why, it's revolving around generating the passive income through our rental properties. That's kind of our basic foundation that we created. And of course, that we're going to wait for the appreciation from that property. And also, we're going to be strategically buying and selling the real estate to accumulate the wealth over time, basically. And which is going to give you more comfortable in a lifestyle and with the ability to make some choices based on the personal preferences rather than just the financial constraint, basically. So that's kind of our why we're doing it.
Nice. I think Jason, you're on mute.
Oh, that's probably why I haven't had so many questions. I apologize for that. I was just saying, okay. Great why, and being a father as well, I feel that that's gonna definitely reflect many folks in our audience, right, that are having young families or even established families and growing out, and even myself too. So I also I think about not only the future generation, but also giving back to the family in general, like your spouse or even your parents if they are around as well. It's such a great why. I'm just curious to know, I mean, Kazi, as you're going through this, you have your 10X, which is amazing, right? And you have some great experiences already that you've shared with the community. But beyond that, why Infin8 Capital, right? You have this already, right? and established. So what sort of brought you to the Infin8 Capital community?
Excellent question. And number one reason that I joined in, of course, there is a personal. I didn't know, by the way, Shuman first. Okay, I met him. Correct me wrong. Last year around the multifamily conference.
Yeah.
And the first interaction I had, I deal with, as being a project manager, I deal with lots of folks everyday basis, and also being a managerial role that I do deal with a lot of HR, and so I can tell kind of when I talk to the first instant that how people, their integrity, the values they're bringing in. So immediately it got resonated with the connection with Simon, and later on, subsequently, I get to know Jason Yu, and then we talked about last year and the Infin8 Capital. Yes, I belong to so many different real estate network groups.
Yeah.
And in the Grant Cardone's team, such a big billionaires, they have the clubs. So I am also part of the real estate club. But the part of the reason that I invested in, to key answer to your question is, I invested for myself to build the confidence of the network. I am from the top to the middle to anywhere I find the network, which is going to bring a lot of value. I can actually provide a lot of value to those groups. At the same time, I learned a lot, and I'm more like a learner. I read thousands of books, and that's just my passion. And then also the important thing is that the network is all we've been talking about. Network equals, so so that is very important, which is the network at the end, right? So it's very important that it's all about the value add, value creation. And I found Infin8, it's just unbelievable group, because you two are pioneer, and of course your support team right now has been doing a fantastic job. I was so fortunate to be part of this. I joined because I know that I am already engaged with so many different other groups. I didn't have to go to another step to be part of your team, but I did because I know that since last year, the value that we have been getting, personally, it's just my personal perception, and I can compare your versus many other groups that have been getting. Sure, every one of those groups, they do provide some value added opportunity, but especially your group, very much more customizable things you guys are doing, and the interaction, and go way beyond basically what the people are putting their value for the services that they're paying for at this point in time, way beyond. So that includes the effort you guys are putting in, and you're always available, your team, and the value that you're bringing in terms of, especially we're talking about the real estate investment side, the multifamily and other varieties I call. It's just unbelievable. You do have answers. If you don't have any answers, you can always get it for us, and you're consistently giving us a platform to engage. It's a more interactive way. That's what I find that from my optics, that this is what I'm seeing it. You guys are doing a fantastic job, and you're very approachable. The first thing that I look at it about, who are the host in this case? You two are, right. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you two are engineers, so do I. Kind of connected in a way. No, I mean, engineering education that you came from and all that, and then you moved on to real estate. And so you do have technical. And I think that what resonated with me the most, to start off, Shimon is not as just him as a personality, of course, we connected. At the same time, his social media presence, which is something that a lot of technical folks like we said, okay, my goodness, social media is like a big barrier. And I went through with his program, and of course, I learned a lot. I've been still going through with the Grant Cardone. He's the guru in the social media as well. But every one of those opportunities I'm getting, whether from Shuman or Grant Cardone, and from many other marketers and many other social media gurus, it's a learning curve that I'm going through. And this is where my journey started with Shuman, getting to know as a person. From there, his social media, it attracted me. I'm the one, I was ready as a buying client or customer, called him. I said, hey, I'm ready for the program. I know that at the beginning, there was a very basic multifamily investment accelerator program. I'm already familiar with it, but every session I sat at it, I always either I provide a lot of value to you guys, or I learned from you guys have been fantastic. You got tons of experience of bringing in, especially Simon and Jason. Like you do have a lot of varieties of all the portfolios that which I haven't explored to the extent. I'm more in the long-term BRRRR strategy. Then I recently got into short-term rental and actively looking into multifamily. And ultimately, my goal is to be a land developer, those areas. So I'm learning a lot from you guys as well. That's why I'm here.
Awesome. I think this is mind-blowing, and why we definitely cherish every member, but why we cherish you, because you are a veteran in your own space, and you are already invested, and this reflects your mindset. Like we get so inspired by you, because this is where people, we just tell, is, as you said, network, learning. And it doesn't matter where you are in your journey, right? You can always learn. And I always tell people that we are all lifelong learning students, right? So it shows your humbleness, and we really value you being here. And even real estate, what you share, right? uh, what are these, some of the BRRRR strategies? Like, those of you who are not part of Infin8, we had Kazi as a, we do mastermind sessions on Wednesday where he talked in depth about BRRRR strategy. Like, many of you know this, maybe the abbreviation, but he walked with his in-depth steps and every phase that he does, right? So those who are part of Infin8, they know those things. But Kazi, what will be some of the in-depth strategies or phases, the phases that you talked about, that you would like to share with maybe two, three for the audience from your
Sure.
BRRRR experience?
Yes. I think that before we start the BRRRR strategy, of course, that we need to know why we did it in the first place. Everybody's situation is different. My situation, I look back a few years back, I said, okay, there are so many different strategies within the real estate investment. And given the market that I'm in, and I said that based on that and the skill set that I'm bringing as a project manager, what is it, the value add service that I can provide, whether it's a duplex conversion or triplex, fourplex, sixplex, you can apply to multifamily, you can apply BRRRR strategies, those many other strategies as well. I specifically used the BRRRR strategy when during COVID time. I know that there's a lot of unfortunate things happen in terms of lost lives and those nature. We definitely, those are not a good moment that we faced. At the same time, there are also some good investment opportunity opened up during this time. So because the market was swinging up and down, and I looked at kind of our own portfolio. At the time, the portfolio was building in. So we're saying that, okay, why BRRRR strategy? So for those folks that they will be listening into this podcast, is the BRRRR strategy is the buy. First you buy, and then you do the renovation. Once you're done with the renovation, then you rent. And once you rent, you start to get the cash flow. Around that time, you refinance. And then you repeat. So it is more scaling your portfolio much faster than you would be normally wait and sit, accumulate your wealth, and then you invest. So the timing was right for me. And every 4 or 5 months, I was sort of finishing one project. So you're providing massive value to your investment. Therefore, you can refi out, which means that if I've done few perfect BRRRR, which means that I literally, the capital that I get back, I was able to take care of pretty much all my down payment, and 100% of the rental money is still left over to move on to the next one. So that's the magic about the BRRRR strategy. But again, everybody's situation is different, and I think that I managed that project so closely, being a project manager, very efficiently. I negotiated deal from day one. I negotiated every step of the way, even getting the rent in the rental in, with the tenant, going through a screening process and everything with another company. So, and I also been managing few properties on my own, basically. So that's the value that people bring in for BRRRR strategy. That's why we picked it, and it's been very successful so far.
I was going to say something just
Yeah.
before this question. I just want to comment is, no, I think one thing I really like, Suman, talking to Kazi all the time, is he draws on many life experiences, right? So not only
Yes.
the real estate portfolio, but also his job, right?
Yeah.
And as well as, he talks about sports. I know he's a musician as well. He's like a man of many talents. I don't know how he does it. But one thing I think a lot of people think about is their job too, right? Sometimes people's whys, and you talked about it too, and I have the same thing with my kids too, is, generational wealth for my children. I get it, right? But then there's those that also think about, hey, I want to find a way to supplement my income so I don't have to work the 9 to 5 anymore. And that's quite common too. But at the same time, there are those like yourself, Kazi, and myself and Zuan too. We have our jobs too. And what that does is, obviously there gives that some security there, but also there's a lot of, and that's why I don't want to discount people's work experiences. And I think that's so great, Kazi, that you have that project management, professional management experience, right? Where you actually take that and you actually enhance your other initiatives like real estate from that experience, right? Would you say that's true? Like, do you bring it there? And
yeah, absolutely. Everybody has that the advantage, right? Whether you're an accountant, you're bringing into that, you're a lawyer, or for me, it was like I looked at myself. I worked through the vision board, saying that what am I good at it? What are my weaknesses? So what are the areas that I need to improve? Yeah, as you say, that this is a whole package. We're not talking about just want to be a real estate investor, just jump in. But those value, you have to look into the which way you can utilize this so that at the end of the day, you get the most value out of your investment. Investment is not just about numbers. Investment is all about all the other skill set that you're bringing in so that at the end, the number looks really good, but the contribution that you're making, it makes a whole lot of difference. And if I may, well, one more point on that, I made what Grant has this book or booklet called Millionaires Booklet. Although when I started, I didn't have this one. Recently, last year or so, I've been having that. Very simple. He's saying that in order to be a millionaire, or in this case nowadays, he's been more targeting on billionaire kind of vision. He said you have to make $1 million decision first, which is the target you got to set, and then you have to do the $1 million math. And that was kind of vision for me in my market, saying for me to get a passive income, let's say arbitrary number, $100,000. For me, I need how many houses? If we go with a single family kind of situation, I need to have it. So after you pay expenses, what's left over as after cash flow and all that you're going to get? Is it going to target my $100,000? Let's say. So do you do the reverse engineering on this one here? So you set your goal, and you do your math, and that sets you up what kind of strategy you're going to be using and what period of time we're talking about. You can apply to multifamily. You can do a land development value add. Anything you want. It's just that those are the two, and it's a magic. And that booklet is really resonating for your audience. And I really cherish that those principles.
Amazing. No, thank you for that. No, appreciate it. Sorry, Simon, you had a comment?
No. I think that's what I wanted to say. That the more we go on talking with you, we extract so many wisdom. And that's why we feel very privileged that people who are advanced level, people like you, or even experienced, they are also part of our Infin8, and we feel privileged.
Likewise, it's my pleasure. Again, you two and your team has been very supportive, and I see that the growth within your circle, Infin community. Everybody's inspired. Everybody's fired up, literally, and they're not shy away asking the question. We all understand. We all have to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
And we could be the top of the line. We could be in the middle, but we're all chiming in and discussing with the deals and understanding the lessons learned. Every one of us, we're going through lessons learned. I've been doing a professional project management site for so long. I'm still learning every single project I'm doing. There's always something that, so you got to be humble. You got to be understanding it. Keep the network going. You never know who you know the network when there's a deal comes in and when there's actually need a partnership. It's so important.
Absolutely. And what would be one tip that you want to give to the audience and where they can reach you out, if they want to connect with you.
Yeah. So there's my company here, Infin8 Diamond Real Estate Inc. And you can contact. There is a phone number 1-800-209-6188. Again, my company name is Infin8 Diamonds Real Estate Incorporated. So 4 is the 4 number sign and diamonds. But you can put it in that, I guess, on your script.
We can put it in the descriptions too,
Yeah.
as well. And what will be one biggest learning from your real estate journey, or anything in life or business in general that you would like to share? One tip with the audience.
Most important thing is that you need to have your mindset. Work on the mindset. It's so important. If no matter how much study you're going to do, how much listening you're going to be doing, if your mindset is not there, and set your target. First, prepare your mindset, set your target on this, work on it, 100% committed to it. Discipline is the important things. And you will achieve your goals if you stay on track and focus on that. And that is kind of what I'm living by, or a daily basis, is the 10x rule, basically. And get a coach, need it, or any coaching platform, because having the right coach at the early on in your lifetime will set you up in a much better position than if you are just wandering around. Sure, it's good to learn yourself, good to go to many different places, but get a reliable, good coach or the platform you belong to. Like you guys have a good platform. It will set you up for your goals. Set you up for your future success, and also especially if I can speak for your Infin community, is you're bringing the whole package, I call it, because not only that you're focusing on real estate crunching the number, but you're also very good at social media side of it. You're bringing everything together, sharing with us. So you're like, I see that you're like a whole package deal that you're providing to your audience or to your members. So awesome. That would be my few tips.
This was very helpful, Kazi, and Jason and I and the entire community truly feel honored that you chose to be part of the community and getting value from it. And it's a privilege to have you at our podcast as well.
Likewise, sir. It's been a great pleasure. Go ahead, Jason.
I was going to say it just to finish off. Love to also, share your Florida STR too, for those of you. I certainly will book it as soon as I can too. Love to stay there too. And I also want to applaud Kazi too, because as you mentioned at the beginning, it's all about exploring as well. And I think that's your first exploration into, a destination STR, right? And it's certainly for your family, and it's amazing. Looking forward to that pool at the back. So
yes. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it, and that's a STR space, that another strategy that is in my portfolio now. So, but ultimately, multifamily, which is I've been working on, and the land development. That's kind of the whole shebang that you're looking at in the real estate world, right? So, and only sky's the limit. And we're all inspired by each other, and I'm really blessed to be around you guys. I'm really blessed to be around my family. They supported me so much. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today. I'm so much blessed by the grants team, what they're doing for me. And I'm so much blessed for, by the way, the community service that I do for decades. I'm also event manager. So I do a lot of things, the volunteer things I do for my community as well. So it's all about the package that you need to, explore in the world. Such a great place to be in.
Perfect. And if for those who are listening in, if you're not part of the community, Infin8 community, and want to know more about Infin8 community, feel free to reach out to Kazi, Jason, or myself. We are happy to guide you through what we do here. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And thanks, Kazi, for being part of the podcast.
Thanks a lot. All the best. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.